talk about Kendrick Lamar, Kung Fu Kenny, dude. Feels like the modern version of Nas and Jay-Z. Incredible battle already. The world's most popular rapper with the world's most critically acclaimed rapper going head to head in front of the entire public, millions of views. Very interesting. You're seeing both their different styles play out. If you're a fan of hip hop, it's just really fun time. I predicted that Kendrick would not drop a response to Drake's 2 disses until May to coincide with an album. I was dead wrong. He dropped today out of nowhere on a Tuesday at 8 a.m. He drops a 6-minute 3 beat switch diss against Drake that hits a bunch of different angles that I want to go through. I want to catch you guys up because I think it's pretty great. It was called Euphoria. Here's the cover art. Euphoria, noun, a feeling of well-being or elation. But right from the moment this was posted, there's already stuff to unpack. And right off the bat, I created a little thing to cover some of the stuff you might have missed. All right, he drops Euphoria at 8:24 a.m. 8:24, it's a Kobe reference, dude. Now, Kobe and Kendrick were friends, and in fact, there is an interview where Kobe Bryant says, if rap is basketball, Kendrick is the Kobe of rap. Euphoria is the title of the track, and while the cover art will show you this, the definition of euphoria, it's more clearly a reference to this, which is the show about high schoolers having sex that Drake is the executive producer on. This is 18-year-old actress Storm Reed. By the way, she turned 18 during the show, who said that Drake is brilliant and really, really involved in the show. And in fact, would sit down for the table reads. So there's clearly the first part of this track has a lot of like very indirect jabs at Drake's relationships with young, around 18-year-old or younger women. There's been some shadiness around this for a while, and that's what's referenced here at the beginning of Kendrick's song. Then he goes in and plays, as you heard, it plays that backwards track. That is Richard Pryor saying this.
Everything they say about me is true. I'm a phony.
That is Richard Pryor saying I'm a phony from a movie called The Wiz, which is an all-black cast version of Wizard of Oz. This is where the wizard is exposed as a phony. Now, it's extra important that it was this movie because this back and forth between Kendrick and Drake has been referencing Michael Jackson over and over. Basically, Drake has said he's Michael Jackson and Kendrick has said he's Prince. And in this movie, Michael Jackson plays the Scarecrow and looks like this. There's a bit of a back and forth of a line there.
The famous actor we once knew is looking paranoid and now spiraling.
Again, famous actor. He's not really an actor, but Drake started out his career as an actor on Degrassi, a Canadian teen show. He played Wheelchair Jimmy right here.
Fabricating stories on the family front, cause you heard Mr. Morale.
Drake basically implied in his last diss that possibly there's rumors of a divorce between Kendrick and his wife. There may be some trouble in his family. And Kendrick was very open about that on his album, Mr. Morale, but is implying that it's over now and Drake saying it's still happening. Then
Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but FUBU never had been your collection.
This part was great because it brings Damon John. If you guys don't know, Shark Tank shark Damon John created, to first get his wealth, the company FUBU, For Us, By Us, which is like a black clothing label. It's the beginning of many, many verses about trying to say Drake is very uncomfortable with his racial identity. Basically, like, switches between black and white when it's convenient for him and is trying to seem more authentically black than he is, like, is the idea. However, I looked into it more. Drake did wear FUBU. There's an actual article of Damon John shocked to see Drake wearing FUBU. I don't know what that hair is, but then we get to the first like real oh shit kind of diss.
Make music that electrify 'em. You make music that pacify 'em.
That's it right there. I make music that electrify 'em, you make music that pacify 'em. This is a very, very subtle, almost like legally subtle. The word pacify is basically saying pacifier, like you make music to try and attract young girls. It's like, yeah. And he said, I could double down on that, but I'm gonna spare you this time. That's a random act of kindness. He never overtly says anything about Drake and underage women in this song, but this is like the main thing. It's like, I could talk about it. I'm not going to yet. I personally, I always thought this was mostly like online people just being exaggerative, because the only thing I ever heard about was the Millie Bobby Brown stuff, which all came from this interview. There is a disturbing pattern of Drake and women that are like just turning 18. There's a disturbing pattern with that. And as he gets older and older, it gets weirder and weirder. But this was what I thought it all came from.
Tell me about your friendship. How did this all come about?
I love him. We just texted each other the other day and he was like, I miss you so much. I was like, I miss you more.
What advice does he give you? Like, what does he say?
About boys. He helps me.
What?
That part's weird, right? Again, at the time, this is a 5-year-old interview. Drake is the same age as I am now, which is like 33. And I can't imagine texting a 15-year-old, hey, I miss you, and then giving her advice with boy. That's so crazy. I mean, that is really odd. However, I thought this was the only thing. And like, if nothing happened, nothing happened. I mean, whatever. But there is more. There is more is the problem. So he has like just this weird pattern of like dating a lot of 18-year-olds that he met when they were like 16. And this is an example right here. I don't even know this woman's name. I forgot her name, but like, this is a woman who they deleted this Instagram post. She posted it and then I think maybe he made her delete it. I don't know, but clearly being really touchy with someone who just turned 18 that he met when she was 16. That stuff is odd. So I don't know. We'll get back to the song.
Okay, yeah, the island right here is remote, okay? I ain't thinking about.
Again, eyelid reference. That's like an Epstein thing. It's all kind of subtle, but there's a lot of like I could go further with it.
Like with a poker face, have you ever paid 500,000 like to an open case?
Have you ever paid 500,000 to an open case? Drake has. I did not know about this. This is like the one thing that didn't show up in Rick Ross's disses or anything. Like this is new and pretty, you know, like seems odd.
Dementia must run in his family, but let it get shaky. I park his son the very first.
That part's just a hard bar. I don't know if there's anything deeper to that, maybe, but just dementia running his family. But if it gets shaky, I'll park his son, Parkinson's. That's just a good bar.
Time I shot me a Drake,
Drake's a gun, common in rap. Talk about Dracos all the time. He said, when I first shot a Drake, the homie told me to aim it lower. I think it's kind of like I haven't been punching down on you enough. So now I'm going to. Now I'm going to start punching down. Like I've been kind of above it and now I'm going to start punching down.
I'd rather do that than let a Canadian nigga make Pac turn in his grave.
So this, Drake bought a $1 million ring from Tupac's estate. And obviously, he also used Tupac's AI voice in his last diss track. Kendrick's just basically saying, bro, you're Canadian. It's insane that you're disrespecting Pac's legacy. You're a piece of shit. I mean, like, and of course, Pac's estate has stood with Kendrick and said, like, you know, he had to take down his last diss track because it had AI Tupac voice. This next part's all about J. Cole and Drake. You know, the big three again. This is back to the big three that start, like, this whole thing started off because Kendrick said, there's no big three, it's just big me, okay? That's the beginning of all of this. And he's like, yo, how are you guys the GOATs if the two of you just hanging out buddy, buddy, pal? You're not even competing. And that's because J. Cole and Drake are kissing, hugging on stage. I love him to death. And in 8 bars, I'll explain that phrase.
The crown is heavy. I pray they my real friends. If not, I'm YNW Melly.
This is YNW Melly. He was in a collective called YNW and murdered 2 of his fellow rappers. So he's like, I pray they're my friends, because if not, I am YNW Melly. I'm going to literally kill J. Cole and Drake. And also back to the crown is heavy. Kendrick has often worn like this crown of thorns. And then,
yeah, fuck all that Pusha P. Let me see you Pusha T.
And this is all about, hey, we all know that Pusha T dropped like a generational diss on you where he found a hidden child and then you never responded. That's just, I mean, that's a good bar to include. I'm glad he said something. Because I feel like because of this new beef, Drake and everyone's assuming we just forgot. But like, no, he never said anything, bro. Pusha T literally outed your fucking hidden child, found an image of you doing like cartoonish blackface, and you never said a response. Like,
now let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way
this next part's fire. This has been what everybody's been talking about kind of on social media, because like this has become the anthem for just being a true generational hater. It's not even that clever. It's like, I'm just telling you directly, I hate you. I don't like any part about you. And it's funny to put this in the middle. It's so different from Drake's. Drake's diss was, if anything, even a little funnier, a little punchier, a little more kind of above the belt. But this was like, yo, I fucking hate you, bro.
I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough.
And then this part I fucking love because it kind of gets in on what I've been feeling. The next half of this song is Kendrick basically saying like, hey, I like some of your songs. I just think you're a piece of shit. Like, I don't fuck with you as a person. And I'm sort of feeling that more and more myself. When I think about how I feel about this battle and how I feel about some Drake songs I've liked in the past, I like a lot of his music. I really don't fuck with Drake as a person at all. Like, I've never seen like a Drake interview where I'm like, damn, that's actually deep. I think Push-Ups was a great diss. It's probably, I'm gonna say that, I'll say this in the middle, I was gonna say this at the end. Drake's diss is a better song. This is a better diss. This is like, the best example is when there was the Jay-Z Nas beef. They had two really standout tracks of that beef, and that was Takeover from Jay-Z and Ether from Nas. And Nas's Ether is considered like the ultimate kill shot diss track, but like Takeover was an actual banger song. Drop Me Give Me 50 is a takeover. I played Drop Me Give Me 50 like just while I was working. It's kind of a fucking catchy hook. It's a good song. This is a better diss. This is like clearly a more well-researched, more authentic. You feel it more in this track. This track it just hits back a lot harder.
Stomach that didn't tell him where you get your abs from.
This is what I was talking about, because I feel like this is a pretty good jab at Drake. There's a lot of evidence that he may have got a fucking ab surgery. The problem is Rick fucking Ross stole this diss and leaked it early with a bad bar. Some of the criticisms I'm seeing of this track is that like, well, we already knew some of this stuff. What do you expect Kendrick to do, to find a second hidden child? He's not gonna find a second hidden child. Drake is a public superstar. Most of the shit about him people know. We're just putting it all together and saying, hey, as a package, you're kind of a piece of shit. He can go deeper on the connections with underage girls, but in general, it's like, you're gonna know what you know going in, and it's like whether or not you can be clever about it in a song and like put it together as an argument. So.
Headshot for the year. You better walk around like Daft Punk. Remember?
That's a funny bar. It's like, hey, I'm gonna have people trying to shoot you in the head. You better wear a big fucking helmet.
Yachty can't give you no swag neither. I don't give a fuck about who you hanging with.
This is, I mean, this is referencing Lil Yachty specifically, but a larger pattern of Drake. People used to call him a culture vulture a bit. But the general idea is that whenever someone's getting hot, whenever someone's like starting to bubble up and their music's starting to pop, Drake will fucking immediately airdrop in. Because it's like this symbiotic thing where Drake is still big enough to help boost their career, but also it helps Drake's career get longevity because he's got a new star. And he's been doing this nonstop for years now. He swoops in, and then often after he's boosted them up, they'll fall off or disappear, but he's already extracted what he could.
When I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see two bad bitches.
This one's kind of funny. Drake does look kind of bad in this photo. You know what I'm saying?
Try cease and desist on the
This is about Drake's deal. This is a direct reference to Pusha T's original Drake diss from like 2012 when Drake was signed to, Lil Wayne, who was signed to Birdman, who was signed to an actual label, some old rich white guy. What's extra funny, this is a tweet from fucking 2012. Someone found this. Kendrick tweeted, somebody tell Pusha I feel the same way. That is 12 years of hating, bro. This is a reference to a song dropped 12 years ago. He been hating. He's felt this way for a long time. He doesn't fuck with Drake.
Niggas, y'all thinking my life is rap? That's whole shit. I got a son to raise, but I can see you don't know nothing about that.
There's nothing about that section. Yeah, he basically says, hey, listen, I'm not so pressed about this beef. I got a son to raise. You don't know nothing about that. This is like a continuation of Pusha T's bar. Drake, you're a bad father. We as outsiders, we don't know. From the outside, it looks like, yeah, he probably is. I can't imagine he's really there for him.
Ain't 20v1, it's 1v20 if I gotta smack niggas that right with you. Yeah.
This is one of my favorite response bars. Because there was a big thing about 20v1 in the last one. Drake's been the Thanos of this. Everyone attacked him. Everyone knows that there's the Ghostwriter allegations. You gotta mention it. I think it was a pretty good way to do it. Am I battling ghosts or AI? That's good too.
Ghosts or AI? Nigga feeling like Joel Austin.
When I heard this, I thought it was Haley Joel Osment. Who is Joel Osteen? Oh, he's the pastor. I see. Okay, it's double reference. But yeah, Haley Joel Osment is the child actor who was in Sixth Sense and AI. So he had ghosts and AI. You know what I'm saying? That's clever. Because he's battling Ghostwriters or AI, and then Haley Joel Osment was in.
Don't speak on the family, Crody. You can get deep in the family, Crody.
This whole next part is him just doing a funny Canadian accent and using Canadian slang. Crody's actually originally from LA Crips, but like Canadian hip hop community says Crody all the time. And this is him just doing the accent and all the references to Toronto, cheesing, and this is just him like making fun of him being from Canada, basically.
I be at Newhall King eating fried rice with a dip sauce and a blammy, Crody.
They really call a gun a blammy in Toronto? That's fucking whack, dude.
Fuck the industry too. If you take it there, I'm taking it further. Psst, that's something you don't want to do.
All right, he's saying fuck you and everyone who fucks with you. And if you take it any farther, I'll take it farther. That's something you don't want to do. Kind of the same way Drake ended his, which means we are still in round one of this. And it's possible that it ends here. They both ended it by saying, hey, don't let me push the red button. I got some further shit on you. And it's possible, dude. It's possible they both do or they're both bluffing. We don't know how much more they have, but if they do have more, then maybe both their lives get destroyed. It's possible, like, Drake has had sex with an underage girl and Kendrick's cheated on his wife recently, since, like, after he said he did on the song, and then both their lives are gonna be, like, materially impacted. It's probably this beef gets real. That's the fucking track. I tell you, I love it. For me, as, like, a fan of, you know, the lyric side of hip-hop, I thought this is fire. But I will fully admit, you know, it's not a banger in the way that Dropping Give Me 50 is. It's not something you can just put in your playlist and it's 6 minutes long. It opens with a fucking this slow part. It's got voices and you know what I'm saying? But for me, I loved it. I thought this was fire. I was kind of blown away at all the different lines. I'm excited to see if Drake will respond to this, you know? For me personally, I give this 1-0 to Kendrick. But again, I think I could see if you are more of a beat person or you like the way a song is performed, you could pick the takeover side of the Dropping Give Me 50. But for me, it's a 1-0 Kendrick. Oh, last thing I want to say, just to close it out, last thing I want to say, I have to apologize. I need to apologize to my man, J. Cole. You know, I clowned him for getting the fuck out of this beef. It's the smartest shit he ever did. This has already got way more serious than I thought it would get. These people's lives are getting dredged up into it. J. Cole never wanted to do any of that. He sold before the dip, dude. He got out. It was a business decision. He had to endure one bad press cycle. And now he's out of it. Now, that being said, if he comes back with an album talking about how, you know, I'm the number one, no one can touch me. That's all right. Fuck off, J. Cole. I don't want to hear that part anymore. But outside of that, like, I think getting out of this particular beef, given that he knows both Drake and Kendrick and probably got an early warning of how serious it's going to get, I think it was smart. I'm coming around on his decision. Every day it seems smarter to me.